Hi all and welcome back to Windows Penetration Testing with Kelly. Let's go and have a look at Section 7, Password Attacks. Now please note that this video is for educational purposes only. I do not, nor will I condone or take any responsibility for you doing anything stupid with the videos that I'm about to show you. So now that that's out of the way, we will be going through John the Ripper. We will crack some passwords with Hydra. From there, we will have a look at how to check Active Directory accounts. And then from there, last up, we're going to have a look at how to bypass local passwords. So let's start off with John the Ripper. Now, just a couple of things that you need to remember about passwords. There are different types of passwords, which means there's different ways to crack them. We look at things like rainbow tables. We look at things like normal hashes, brute forces, dictionary attacks, and the list goes on. And then also, not every password can be cracked. You can go to the link that I have up for you now and go and have a look at how strong your password is. Bear in mind, the longer the password, the more complex, the longer it's going to take to hack those passwords. And sometimes it is just so much easier to social engineer or phish in order to get a hold of those passwords. So let's go and fire up our John the Ripper and see how this works. For the demo, please make sure that you've got your Kali Linux as well as a Windows machine up and running. Before we continue, I want to go and show you where your word list is for what John the Ripper is going to use. So let's go to Places, Computer, User, Share, and from here, we're just going to go and look for John. We're going to open up John, and there is the password list that John is going to be using. Alternatively, you can also go to Share and Word List. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly set up a word list of our own. Very important that you have to remember about using word lists and brute forcing is that it takes processor speed. It utilizes resources of your system. The more intense the password is, the more intense your resources are going to be on your system. Hence why I'm going to show you how to create a small little word list of your own. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to fry your machine. That's sort of not the purpose behind this course. Without any further ado, let's start with John. For John, we are going to use our own user account that we have created. So let's go and create one quickly. And we're going to say -m and give our user a name. From there, we want to add our user to the sudo group, which is the admin group. And then I just want to specify the location for this user, which will be in bin bash, and enter. From here, we just quickly need to give our user a password, and we do this by saying pass wd space and the username, and from there we want to specify the password. Now I am making my password 12345. Remember, it is not going to show you what you are typing in for the password. So something that makes John the Ripper really awesome is the fact that it can crack passwords based on the shadow file. Now, the shadow file, if I can explain this in layman's terms, it's very similar to that of the SAM database on the Windows machine, where the passwords are stored on Windows locally, but nevertheless. So what we want to do is we want to use the shadow file and combine that with something we are going to create. And we're going to be creating this little cracking list. And we do this, first of all, by typing unshadow. We want to unshadow in the etc passwd space, again, etc shadow, and then root and then I'm going to call mine cracking underscore list. There we go. Now from here, remember John has a couple of different modes. Basically, it's got something where you can specify lower, you can specify alpha, you can specify digits, which is your numbers, and you can specify alnum, which is your alphabet as well as your numbers. If you don't add anything to there, then it will by default use all of them. So let's go and have a look at how to use the John the Ripper password cracker. We're going to start off with John and then type word list equal to, and where that word list is. Now the word list is sitting inside the user share John password.lsp, and we want to use the root cracking list and enter. And there we go. There's the password that I set to Angelique. Simple, wasn't it? So all we did is we basically amalgamated those two, the shadow files. We created a cracking list in the root directory. We copied that information over into the cracking list, and from there we then used John with a word list to compare whether or not the password that has been used is in fact sitting in the password list. Now bear in mind that with these password lists,